and we are covering the Thursday night game as we do always with John Ryan from johnryansports.com. John, thanks for being here once again.
My pleasure as always, Peter.
How was your weekend? How'd you do in your thread on the forum?
We managed to rub a couple pennies together. We went 3-2 with the 10-star plays. I did have the Colts, but we were 2-1 going into the Sunday night game, and unfortunately, I was on the wrong side of that one. I had the Chargers. So I guess I deserve it since I was trying to wreck the Saints party, I guess, so to speak. But, hey, overall, we're now, I guess, hitting right around 67% on those 10 stars. So, the thread's doing well.
What about 20? What about 20 stars?
20 stars are still 1-0.
Oh.
Actually, I'm sorry, I apologize. They're 2-0. They're 2-0. I didn't have any 20 stars this past week.
What about 30 stars?
No 30 stars on the thread.
All right, hey, good for you, John Ryan. I'm trying to poke a hole in what you're saying to me, but I'm like, what about your 5 stars? 8-0. 8. All right, I hear you, man. Good job. All right, so let's talk about this Thursday night game, Pitt at Tennessee. Now, I'm just feeling like the biggest square in the world here, but I'm just kind of loving Pittsburgh. Tennessee's a 5.5-point home underdog on a Thursday night game, but Tennessee's looked awful. Their defense isn't stopping anyone. Chris Johnson is giving his patented, 1.4 yards per carry game week in and week out, except for 2 weeks ago where he had a good game. But, Pitt, the thing is, they're both off a short week here, but Pitt had a bye 2 weeks ago, so they're coming off a bunch of rest, whereas Tennessee's been playing week in and week out. Hasselbeck threw 2 pick sixes, but even without those, Tennessee still wouldn't have covered. I'm thinking Pittsburgh minus 5.5 is a play here.
I agree with you, Peter. And I caution this play actually because I mentioned the Colts for a reason. Colts are the same. I think it's the same type of game. You have a superior team against a team that should have no business being in the game. And,
whoa. Wait a minute. But the Colts were off a bye, and they had their coach had just gotten cancer, which is a huge emotional impact on them. I love the Colts myself as well, but they were off of a bye, and they were really hyper-focused because of their coach. This is just a Tennessee team that's just like, playing crappy week in and week out.
And I would agree with you on that. The key here, based on the simulator projections, is the lack of running game from Tennessee, which going into this year I would have never thought I would have been saying to you at week 6 right now. Moreover, the simulator shows that Tennessee, again, is not going to gain more than 75 rushing yards in this game. This favors well into Pittsburgh's chances to cover this spread and win the game by what I think will be double digits. They're 58-22 since 1992 when they allow 50 to 75 rushing yards in a game, and more recently they're 16-4 the last 3 years when allowing less than 75 yards in a contest. So it goes way beyond the running backs when you talk about the running game and the lack thereof that Tennessee does not have. It's the offensive line. It's the chemistry of the offensive line. It's the ability to have confidence in that running back to go block for him. And Tennessee does not have that right now.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned correctly with Indianapolis, that was a much, much stronger home dog play given all the circumstances behind it. And you have more talented athletes on that team. So I think Pittsburgh coming off that heroic win against Philadelphia with that last-second field goal, that's going to carry over now, and that could carry over for several weeks for them.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee, just look, last week, we did this preview. I talked to, Brent from BetDSI. He told me, I said the line in the Minnesota game was suspiciously low. He told me the Sharps liked Tennessee in that game. It felt wrong to me, but I didn't play it. And, Minnesota won easily, just like we thought. And I think we're seeing the same thing here. I think Pittsburgh, maybe I'll buy down to 3 or something. But I'm liking Pittsburgh here. Maybe I'm square. But you agree with me, huh?
You know how I think, Peter. When something appears to be too good to be true, I do like twice the research to make sure that it is.
Right.
But I do think at the end of the week here, we'll still be heavily on the Pittsburgh side. It's just a question whether it's going to be a 5-star or a 10-star.
All right. Well, you are, 18-12 with your 10-star plays or whatever, so that makes me feel